Mother's Day just around the corner, I thought this was an ideal time to do another gift basket video. And I was thinking, as we put together these Mother's Day baskets, I would share a few practical tips on how to create a beautiful presentation. For this first gift basket, we're going to be making this one for the garden-loving mother in our lives. Now, a tip would be to pick a theme for your gift basket and then pick a basket that would fit that theme and is also sturdy, practical, and unexpected. So for this basket, I decided to use a large terracotta pot. Now, every basket needs filler, and my tip would be to use unexpected filler. So for this one, I went with a shower puff as the base, and then I built up from there. Now, you can really customize baskets to fit into any budget. So here I have some twine in a jar from the dollar store and this hand wash that looks expensive, but I only paid $3.50 for it because this isn't the area I want to splurge in. But if you wanted to, you could definitely go to some place like Bath and Body Works and get a hand soap that cost a little bit more. Much like I did with this coffee and whiskey scented candle from Bath and Body Works, this was an item that I thought deserved a little splurge. Filling out your basket with inexpensive items such as these Velcro garden ties is the perfect way to create a look of abundance in a basket. Now, presentation matters when doing a gift basket, so always put your larger items to the back, smaller items to the front. Add a little bit of something to make it extra pretty, like this faux lavender. Decide on a color scheme and try and stick within that family. So here you can see I'm working with teals, lavender, green. You don't want it to be too matchy-matchy, but you want everything to work together cohesively. You also want to keep everything neat and organized, so I just used some twine to wrap these seed packets together before adding it to the basket. Don't be afraid to change things around. Move things about. You might find that when you're putting things together, something works better on one side than it did on the other. Don't be afraid to change things up. Find the best arrangement for your basket so that it looks as pretty as possible. Another tip is to add something pretty to the front of your basket. So these gloves just kind of poking out over the front adds a pop of color and an extra element of interest that takes this basket over the top. Speaking of taking things over the top, I found this adorable bubble bar green watering can from Lush and knew it had to be a part of this basket. So I just popped it into a clear plastic bag, wrapped a little bit of twine on it, again tying it into that seed packet and that natural feeling that comes with the theme of this basket. And it's a little bit of that splurge. And now this is totally optional, but I found it at Dollarama, so it was only a couple of bucks and it fits in with the theme, and I love that it's bloggers, so you could always add a gardening book or a cookbook, a farm to table type book to go with the rest of the basket. Now you can find large rolls of cellophane that you can wrap around your baskets if you want. You can also find these basket bags at Dollar Tree or Dollarama for just a couple of dollars, and they are perfect for those baskets that aren't too large or too small. Just pop your basket and any additional items inside, pull it up over top of the gift basket, and then I like to go in with just a piece of tape to wrap this around the opening to keep everything closed. And don't be afraid to use little bits of tape to tape in any sort of corners or openings, especially if you're using the cellophane rolls, but even with the bags, just to keep everything looking nicely tucked in. Now to cover up that tape that we use to wrap the opening shut, you can go in with any type of burlap or ribbon. I decided to go with burlap for this one because it just fits into the overall theme. Now, a step I like to do is to dovetail all of my ribbon ends and then add a few pretty details such as these faux florals that I just attached with a little bit of hot glue. And here's a closer look of the basket. I would love to know what you think in the comments below. And make sure you stick around to the end because I saved the best basket for last. Okay, this next Mother's Day basket is for that coffee lover mother in your life. Try saying that 5 times fast. Again, I've compiled all the items that are going to fit into this theme and chose a sturdy and practical basket to work from. Now again, applying that tip where we mix splurge items with less expensive items, I went with some quality coffee beans to go in this basket. Another splurge would be this Bath & Body Works candle that truly smells like a cafe in Paris. I've never been to Paris, but I'm sure this is what it would smell like. Now to go with that, I went with an inexpensive dollar store mug, but I loved the shape and I loved the color and it looked high quality, so I knew that it would fit in with this basket. And remember that things don't need to necessarily cost a lot. Either you can get them on sale or get items that look like they cost a lot. And when you mix those with higher quality items along with lesser expensive items such as this creamer that fits into your theme and into your color scheme, the whole look overall is that of a basket that is a lot more expensive than it might actually be. I also added this frother, another example of an item that looks like it might have been a bit expensive, but it actually came from the dollar store. And since it wasn't very pretty, here's another tip: cover those items that aren't that attractive with something that is. So I'm going in with a bit of this faux lavender because you'll see later on the color will tie in with the entire color theme, as do these adorable little mini coffee syrups. They just don't quite fit right. So here is a little trick. Stuff in a little bit of tissue paper in those places where you want the items to stand up and sit up just a little bit higher. I went with tissue paper that worked with the color of the creamer, and then to go with that lavender bundle, I found these beautiful box of chocolates from Purdy's, and I love the little purple mum tag around it, and it just, as you can see, matches beautifully. So tell me, if you were a mum receiving this gift basket, what would you think? Now, this gift basket was 100% selfish indulgence because, let's face it, I don't have 5 mothers to give these gift baskets to. So this basket I plan on eating. But for demonstration purposes, I put everything into this wire basket that I got from the thrift store and then just added cotton cloth to the bottom as the filler. I just used a cheese board from the dollar store, but you could absolutely DIY your own or even buy one that is a little bit more expensive. Likewise, I went with an artisan bread from the local bakery, but you could even go with a pumpernickel loaf and that would work just as well. Same with the wine. I went with a $20 bottle of wine from the States, but you could pick any wine you prefer. Another example of an inexpensive item that rounds out the basket really well is this fig jam. And then to go with the purple of the bottle and to cover up a little bit of that cheese board that sort of improved the aesthetic of the basket, another one of those faux lavender stems was added. Then came the good stuff. So I had a Charcuterie here that was added into the basket, as well as some really delicious artisan cheese that comes from my favorite fromagerie. I went with a soft cheese, a medium cheese, and a hard cheddar cheese, and I added that to the basket, arranging everything so that it looked aesthetically pleasing. And then to tie everything together and bring in a little bit more of that purpley color, I added another box of those Purdy chocolates. But you could use any chocolate, even one that came from the dollar store, as long as it looks nice and it works with your color theme, it will look just as good. Calling all those moms who like themselves some chocolate. Again, I'm just going with a simple practical basket from the dollar store, the same one I used for the coffee gift basket. And I've gathered together some chocolate that comes from the dollar store and then some chocolate that is just higher quality. We have some pretzels, chocolate covered pretzels here, and this is a larger packaged item, so this is going to go to the back. And then next to the chocolate covered pretzels, we have some Mexican hot chocolate here that is was reminiscent of our trip to Mexico and is delicious. So we're going to add that to the back as well. Then I found these chocolate covered cookies from the dollar store for like $1.25. So we're going to add those because I've heard they taste really good. For an extra special touch, I made some homemade chocolate covered strawberries and put them in this paper container, wrapped it with a cellophane bag, and tied it with some lace ribbon to make it look pretty. Our Dollar Tree always has these Laura's Secret hot chocolate packets, and they are very yummy, so I added a pack of that as well. So we have a theme. We have the more expensive items with the less expensive items. We have the bigger items in the back and the smaller items working our way to the front, and now we're adding that faux lavender just to add that pop of color, tie everything together, and to make it look prettier. The dollar store also had these Pocky rip-off sticks. I think that's what they're called. And then some homemade chocolate chip cookies in a bag, again tied with a bit of lace just to tie everything together and add to that chocolate theme. Likewise, I made chocolate brownies, wrapped it up in a little bit of cellophane and just slipped one of them in. And then to finish everything off and to work with that faux lavender stem, we again have that box of Mom's Pretty chocolates. And there you go, another gift basket done. This basket is the ultimate in indulgence. So I started with a really large oversized basket. This is actually one that I made in my last thrift video. I will link that video here above. But since I'm just using this one just a demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this basket to show you how to put together one for yourself. Now, once again, I've gone with a theme, and this theme is relaxation, and I've put together higher end items and lower end items that work together with this theme and within a color scheme. Now, the first item I have here is one that I actually found from Dollarama, and it is a prime example of where you can splurge or save. So I found these slippers that are a lot higher end than the price tag reads, but you could always, if you don't have that option, buy either more expensive slippers or even just get a pair of inexpensive reader socks from the Dollar Tree. And this light teal is going to be the popping off color point for the rest of our color scheme. Now, to go with those cozy socks, I picked a cozy blanket from IKEA. Again, this is an area where you can splurge or save. This blanket didn't cost all that much. It was on sale at IKEA, but you could always get a much nicer one from Marshall's, or even a less expensive, just a nice warm shawl from the dollar store. And I decided to put this rolled up blanket on an angle because this is going to kind of act as the base, the filler for the rest of the items in the basket. And to go with the theme and add a slightly different pop of color, I added this bright pink shower puff. And again, I'm going to slide this sort of in between the basket and the blanket, and this as well will act as that filler and the base for the rest of the items. Now, no relaxation kit is complete without a bit of tea. So I went with this Sleepy Time Celestial Seasonings tea, but once again, this is an area where you can splurge or save. You can go to David's Tea and buy some nice high quality tea if you choose, or you could just do what I did. Next, to add some of those inexpensive filler items, I found this jade roller that I thought was just kind of fun, and the teal color worked with the color theme, and the item itself worked with the overall theme. And to go with that was this teal bath mitt that worked both with the color scheme and the overall theme. So both of these items are a perfect example of how those filler items can just perfectly round out your gift baskets. Now, up until now, we really haven't spent that much money. The most expensive item here is the IKEA blanket, and that was under $10. So we're gonna add a little bit of a splurge with the bath items, but again, you don't need to do that. You could just as easily find these items at the Dollar Tree and add them to your baskets, and as long as you stick to the principles of attractive items, items that look like they're more expensive than they actually are, and items that fit within a theme and a color scheme, you're
you're guaranteed to end up with a basket that anyone would be happy to receive. And again, don't forget to pop in some of that tissue paper if you need to elevate some items so that they sit just a little bit higher. To fill things out a bit, I added a David's teaspoon, some hand cream that I got from the dollar store. So see, you can absolutely make this work with just dollar store items. Because note, it looks more expensive than it actually is, and it works with the color theme. Sometimes little splurges seem like big splurges because people know they're more expensive items, and this Lush bubble bar in the bright pink that works with the pink in the hand lotion and the shower puff helps to elevate every item in this basket, making it all appear like it's more expensive than it actually is. A few bubble bombs from the dollar store added that final touch that the basket needed. Oops, I almost forgot. The Champagne Toast Bath and Beauty Body Works candle in the single wick. It works with that pink color, that self-indulgence theme, and I almost forgot to add it. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of rearranging here because I obviously did not plan this out perfectly, but I want to add it because I got it on a 2-for-1 sale, and it's just gonna be that perfect touch to this basket. And because no Relaxation Mother's Day gift basket is complete without a little bit of chocolate, once again we're going in with that Purdy's chocolate in the purple packaging. It just adds that little extra touch of decadence. And there you have it. The basket is complete. I absolutely love this one, but I want to know which one out of all of these baskets was your favorite.
Well, that's it for today's Mother Day. Mother Day? No, we've just started. I thought now, like, got the shoulder moving. I would share some of my top tips. I would share some tips. I would share. On repeat. I snorted again. I would. I would. No. I can do it. I can do it. If you enjoyed those, make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. If you hit the notification bell, it'll let you know the next time I upload. Oh, and you might enjoy these.